What's up, everybody? It's your boy Joeywerk. I'm back. Today is Thursday. Well, I'm going to run through the entire slate for tomorrow, Thursday, April 13th. Last time you saw me was last night. Unfortunately, the total did not get there, and I gave out a loser. Grind does continue. As you guys know, every day, every single play fully tracked. So it's a day-by-day grind in the MLB. 162 games, long season. So, keys to being a profitable bettor: don't chase loss. You have a losing day, it's okay. You move on to the next. You don't slam the late game. You don't, try to get it back. You just keep moving, and the grind continues. I see Native Spy already in the chat sending positive mojo. What else is new? Shout him out. Guys, saucebay.com. I got my saucebay with me, saucebay.com, promo code Joeywerk. That's what it is. All natural sauce, fire, seen on season 9 of Hot Ones. I mean, Shaquille O'Neal tried it. Juice WRLD tried it. The list goes on of celebrities that tried it. Nothing but good reviews from them all as well. I got my high stake breaks gear on as well. Print the card breaks, doing a Bowman Chrome hobby break, full case. That'll be Friday night. Full case, pick your team. You could DM me. But yeah, here we are. WT, what up, my guy? All right, so let's go through the games for tomorrow. First game on the slate, a short slate, per normal on Thursday. First game on the slate is Oakland versus Baltimore. I'm seeing under-over set at 10 in that game. And I'm like minus 240, minus 235 on Baltimore. Comeback is plus 198, plus 190-ish for Oakland. Under-over set at 10, 9.5 in places. We got a starting pitching matchup of Adam Euler, however the fuck you say that, and Cole Irvin, who, funny enough, used to pitch, on this Oakland team. Cole Irvin, 0-2. He's given up how many runs this year? His ERA is almost in the 10s this year. He pitched 2 games. Obviously, get Boston and the Yankees, so a little bit of better offense, but I'm not very high on Boston this year personally either. And this guy gave up 9 earned runs in 8 2/3 innings. He also walked 6 batters. Now he's pitching against his old team, so I do expect some extra motivation here. But to be Cole Irvin minus 200, if you are betting on the Orioles and Cole Irvin minus 200, you need to get a fucking different job, because you ain't making it long-term betting the Orioles with Cole Irvin on the hill at minus 200. You will not win betting baseball day in and day out if that's what the fuck you're doing. So it's dog or pass here. I was very close to taking Oakland Athletics as a dog today at a plus like 170 price. I didn't do it. They obviously won the game. Obviously, but I do think Baltimore can step up this year. They are better than they were last year and should compete very soon. They should compete in this division. I definitely don't trust Oakland's bullpen at all. Their bullpen right now through how many games they play? 12 games, I think. Through 12 games, I have them ranked as the 6th worst bullpen in baseball. And obviously, on the other end, I'm not really into Adam Euler or whatever the hell, however I say his name. He's been in the minors for a pretty long time before coming up in the majors last year. He made 14 starts last year. ERA was over 6. That's not saying very much. 2 starts this year. He pitched against Tampa Bay. Actually pitched pretty good in Tampa. It is a dome. So, but Baltimore's definitely much pitcher friendly this year and last year since they moved this defenses back. And Tampa somewhat plays like that now. He pitched in LA, first start, gave up 4 earned runs. So this is easy dog or pass here. No chance am I taking the Orioles here at minus 200. But don't bet first 5 under. Jago, what up, my guy? O's already fired. Yeah. Can someone boot this guy out of the chat for me, please? For real. I'm not in the mood for negative Nancy. All right. Next game we got is Boston, Tampa Bay. These are all another 1:00 game. Tampa Bay Rays 12-0 to start the season. They may not lose a fucking game. Let's take it with a grain of salt. The teams they played suck. Today was the day to bet them, though. I think they were minus 120-ish. Every other line has been crazy. Minus 300 at times, minus 200. Even you lay a run and a half, and they were minus 150 on a run and a half 2 days ago. So, they're basically unbettable. Kluber versus Jeffrey Springs. Jeffrey Springs has been absolutely amazing to start the year. And they were very high on him coming in this year, and it makes a lot of sense. The guy has struck out how many people in his 2 starts? He struck out 19 batters in 2 starts in 13 innings. He's allowed 3 total hits. He did pitch against Detroit and Oakland. Yeah. But now he's getting a Boston team they did lose their big hog in the lineup in Adam Duvall. So this team looks a little watered down. Bottom of the lineup, Rob Refsnyder, Arroyo, Casas, Chang, Wong. This whole lineup is not very scary. Again, as I said on Twitter before the season started, maybe a week into the season, Boston's not very good. They're not going to be very good. The Orioles will probably be better than them this year. Boston will probably be the worst team in the division. Don't get me wrong. Tampa Bay has played absolutely amazing. Offensive-wise, they scored the most runs in baseball. The bullpen has been really good. Starting pitching, they've got the 1-2 punch so far. And this is all without the really number 2 starter, essentially number 1 starter. So this team could be very, very scary if they keep it up. As we know, the last couple of years, they have struggled versus lefties. They did hit Chris Sale today, but everyone and their sister has hit Chris Sale thus far this year. So, Corey Kluber on the other end, not a guy I really like. He's pitched on every team. He pitched on Tampa. He pitched on the Yankees. He pitched on now Boston. He's pitched on every team in this division. He gets hit hard almost every time he goes out there. So I do definitely expect Tampa Bay to win. The line is I'm seeing -200 on Tampa. Under/over is set at 8. Today's best bet was over in that game. Over was, I think it was 8.5. It might have even been 8 in that game. I think the friggin' Tampa Bay scored 8 alone. So the one problem with Tampa Bay thus far has been their bullpen. Let me just pull up real quick what I got on their numbers. I'm pretty sure their bullpen, I don't have their bullpen ranked very good this year. I got a middle of pack now. So they must have pitched better the last couple of days. But yeah, essentially, hold on. I think they did pitch better the last couple of days. I don't think today because they gave up how many runs. But yeah, I have them. Yeah, essentially middle of the pack again. Both these bullpens essentially middle of the pack thus far. So I definitely trust Springs over. On the other end, I definitely actually have Tampa ranked the 8th worst bullpen in baseball thus far. Over Kluber. I don't really trust Kluber at all. I definitely trust Tampa Bay's bats. If you want to lay the 1.5, go ahead and do so. Personally, I never lay a 1.5 with a home team. If I'm going to lay a 1.5, it'll be an away team. If you want to lay a 1.5 with Tampa Bay, have your day of field. Have a field day. I'm not going to do it. Next game. So those are the 2 1:00 games. Next game is at 6:40 p.m. Eastern. Philly versus Cincinnati. Bailey Falter versus Nick Lodolo. Line we have is -120 for Cincinnati, +100 on the comeback on Philly. Under/over set at 8.5. Both teams are traveling here. Cincinnati was where was Cincinnati? Philly was just playing at home versus Miami. Cincinnati was in Atlanta. So they're both teams traveling home. No off day. Philly did play earlier. Cincinnati played a little bit later in the afternoon game. Not crazy travel for either team, that's for sure. But it is, essentially travel. And I think, most teams, it's only their second away series, if that. So you have to take a little bit of that into his consideration. Nick Lodolo has looked absolutely amazing this year. They are playing in the Great American Small Park, which kind of tempts my because I kind of like a first 5 under here maybe because the Phillies bats have definitely disappeared at times, even especially early on the season. I know the last couple of games they scored some runs, but early on in the season, the Philly bats have really disappeared. And Lodolo's pitched. He actually pitched against this Philly team 5 days ago, 7 strong. 12 strikeouts versus this team. Now he's coming back in the Great American Small Park, and Lodolo is fully, he has no leash. He's thrown over 100 pitches in both of his starts. He is a lefty. On the other end is Bailey Falter. I'm not really very high on this guy. I think the Phillies are higher on him than the public, but he's basically fully stretched out as well. He threw 86 pitches last start, and he hasn't been terrible. He pitched at Texas, in Cincinnati, 2 starts, let up 3 total runs in 10 2/3. Only 5 strikeouts, so he does pitch to a lot of contact. That may be a problem here in the Great American Small Park. So maybe you leave the first 5 under, or we go with Cincinnati on the first 5. So Falter hasn't walked anybody, which is kind of kind of pretty damn impressive. It looks like the weather would be 77 degrees weather in the small park. Again, this will be the first night game, so it's 6 o'clock. But yeah, I definitely trust Lodolo over Falter. Did Falter's pitch against the Cincinnati? He did pitch against the Cincinnati team at home, and gave up a homer, 2 strikeouts, no walks. He gave up a homer in both of his starts, and his stats last year were actually not terrible. 16 starts, he had under a 4 ERA, 74 strikeouts in 84 innings, so a little less than a strikeout per inning. He did really struggle the year prior. He mainly pitched out of the bullpen that year prior, but he had pretty decent numbers in the minors. So I definitely have a lean first 5 under, but again, it's in the small park. It should be the hottest it's going to be thus far, probably, for a game at the small park. So first 5 under lean. Cincinnati Reds on the first 5 is also a lean. You could probably also look up at I don't exactly know the numbers. If someone wants to look it up, Bailey, not Bailey, but on the other end, Nick Lodolo's strikeout numbers, his strikeout prop, I'm sure it's probably high. It's got to be at least 6.5, maybe 7.5. I'm not really interested at 7.5, 6.5. I'd probably be interested in, but he probably goes over that either way. But yeah, I'm probably going to just stay away. Tuning in from Jersey. What up, TDC? Jago, my guy. Thanks, Joey. Appreciate you sharing your MLB handicaps. George, thank you, my man. Hit the like button. Richie Smalls, my guy. Where the Fed's at? Chris, that was funny. You saw my video. Johnny Nelson, my guy. Appreciate you. You saw my video last night? Yeah. I was breaking for my card company, and the fucking cops somehow got it. So we have an office. The cops somehow got through the main door. And then I don't have a lock on my door, so they immediately walked in my room. I'm screaming at the fucking chat, like, let's go get these bids up on whatnot doing UFC. And I was like, holy shit, the police are here. The cops are here. And everyone, I had 70, 60 people, 50 people in the room. Nobody believed. So I fucking turned the phone. I'm like, hey, look, police. They're like, holy shit, the police are here. I'm like, yeah, I'll be right back, guys. I got to handle this. But yeah, that was the first time that's ever happened. I don't know why the police were there. I don't know if someone swatted me. Not exactly sure, but here we are. I'm alive. I didn't get arrested. They took down my information, and we move on. Yeah, Nate Spy is in timeout. Love it. 7.5 Ks for Lodolo. What's that number, DK? Minus 110? Probably is. I lean over there too, but I'm gonna pass. We're gonna hold off on that. Next game I have is Minnesota versus the Yankees. Is that right? Yeah. Minnesota versus the Yankees. Jump off Joe Ryan versus, I don't know if it's Johnny Brito. I think it's going to be Johnny Brito. My other site has, I don't know why they have, yeah, it's Johnny Brito. Johnny Brito versus Joe Ryan. So Brito has pitched decent in his first 2 starts, but I've watched them both, and I think it's a good time to probably fade that man. On the other end, Joe Ryan. So I know a lot of people are into Joey Ryan. I did like him, but I think he's going to have, I think he's going to struggle a little bit this year more than he did last year. I know he pitched 147 innings last year, 27 starts, under 3 ERA, pitched pretty damn good. The problem is he doesn't have really an overpowering fastball, and that kind of scares me. He's sitting in the low 90s on his fastball, 92, 93. Obviously, he has deception. He had 10 strikeouts in his last start. He does throw a mixture of different pitches. But, I think he'll be a favorite moving forward. A lot of people are like, oh, Joe Ryan, his advanced numbers are decent, not crazy, because his hard hit rate is almost over 50%. So, yeah, I know a lot of people are very high on him. This year, he's only thrown 3 pitches. I know last year he did have a curveball, a changeup. I'm pretty sure he hasn't even thrown the changeup at all this year. He's going 4-seamer, a split finger, and he calls it a quote-unquote sweeper that he barely throws. He's really a 2-pitch guy, 4-seamer, 4-seam fastball, and a split finger. So he's literally 2-pitch guy. And for a starter, that kind of does scare me. Weather in New York's looking like it's going to be 83 degrees, wind blowing 10 miles an hour out. Hot game here. Under-over's only at 8.5. Yankees have been scoring some runs. Again, it looks like, I don't know, what the site I'm looking at says 96% of the bets on the Yankees. First off, the lean is definitely with Minnesota. here. If you're going to pick a side, I'm not laying minus 150 with Johnny Brito on the hill for the Yankees. I'm just not doing it. And I'm a Yankee fan. See, I tell you how it is. I win long-term betting baseball, and this is how you do it. But my first official play here will be full game over. We can get 8. Over 8 at plus 100 via Caesars. So my full game, I'm taking that. New York Yankees full game over 8 via Caesars at plus 100. Again, I do think Brito is due for some regression, and he'll likely come here in a hot ballpark. This will be probably the hottest he's pitched thus far, hottest atmosphere he's pitching thus far. And Joe Ryan, I definitely expect the Yankees to score some runs off Joe Ryan. Bullpens, obviously the Yankees bullpen has been pretty good, but they are a little tired. And on the other end, both bullpens have been pretty good, but long game, I do expect some runs here. So full game over 8. I think that's a short number, especially the way the games have been going. And the Yankees have been, I think the Yankees lead, I'm pretty sure the Yankees lead the league in steals this year. They've been doing that little jump thing that I don't know if you guys saw on Twitter or whatnot. They were doing some weird jump shit where they steal second base. They get like a little running weird jump start. And they lead the league in stolen bases. So definitely expect them to run. And if Minnesota was smart, they do the same. So full game over 8 will be my first official play for tomorrow. That is Thursday, April 13th. Next game we have is Detroit versus Toronto. Spencer Turnbull versus Chris Bassett. Chris Bassett, hound, minus fucking 230. Like what? Tomorrow's card is very tough. Under over set at 9. So Toronto did move the fences in. We saw yesterday they scored a shit ton of runs. It was hot. The ball was flying. I actually live bet the over. Everyone in the Discord. This is the advantage of being a Run Pure Bets member. I saw the first inning. I missed the line at 9. I was like, let's get in on 11. They still scored, 13 runs or 12 runs at least. So we did get the over 11 live, and we hit it, and that was a winner. So if you guys want to sign up, runpurebets.com, get every day, every play, every day, fully tracked for myself and the team. Runpurebets.com, you can use promo code WORK15, WRK, 15 to sign up, get 15% off your first month, and you get every play I put on the spreadsheet. See, like when I do these rundowns, these are for free. You only get the 1 or 2 plays that I'll tell you about, and you get the free play from the day before. Obviously, yesterday I gave out 3 plays. You guys got 1 play. He was a loser. The other 2 look like they're going to be winners. So, that's the advantage of being a Run Pure Bet subscriber. But that's what I got. Okay, next week. So as I'm talking about Turnbull, Bassett, Turnbull has looked terrible. Obviously, Turnbull missed pretty sure all last year from injury. Comes back, has not looked good in his first 2 starts. You get a Toronto team, as I mentioned. They moved the fences in. This is also their first home series. So today was game number 2, their second home game of the year. Tomorrow will be game number 3. Turnbull pitched against Tampa Bay and Boston, gave up 12 earned runs in 8 total innings. He's only struck out 4 batters, walked 5. So, he's been getting hit all over the place, 13 hits. And I think Toronto comes here and probably gets the bats going early, scores a decent amount of runs. This Detroit bullpen has been one of the worst in the league to start. Tonight, they look good. So I definitely expect tomorrow them to look good on back-to-back nights. That may be asking a little too much. Never mind a little BVP action. This team is batting almost 400 X-weighted on base percentage versus Spencer Turnbull. On the other side, Chris Bassett. So I think it was actually very smart for this team to sign Chris Bassett. He is a ground ball heavy pitcher. Obviously throws that sinker probably about 60% of the time. So with them moving the fences in, they think it's smart to bring him in here. And great. I'm not overly impressed by Chris Bassett. I wasn't last year. I'm not this year. He has had control issues. I mean, last start he walked 5 batters in LA. This will be his first home start. So that's a little mojo his side. But in 9 innings this year, he's given up 12 earned runs, 5 homers already. So, I mean, do we trust Chris Bassett? He's only thrown, last start he threw 100 pitches. Start before that, he got shelled, so they took him out early. But historically, his numbers have been pretty good. So this is probably a great bounce back spot for Chris Bassett. First home start versus the freaking the Tigers, who have scored how many runs this year? Not very much. They have the worst on-base percentage in baseball. So they are a bottom feeder. in this league, in this division. I prefer to take probably, if you want to take, see, I'm not totally against taking Toronto on a run line here. I wonder what that line is. Toronto run line is probably like, I'm not going to do it, but if you want to do it, I'm not totally against it. Let me just pull it up real fast. Run line Toronto minus 110. That's, that's not really terrible. I wonder, see, I don't have the team total here. That's nice of you. Joey's softball team from last year scores more runs than the Tigers. And that's coming from a Tigers fan. Jago's a Tigers fan too. What do we got on team total for Toronto tomorrow? What's the team total on Toronto for tomorrow? I got to pull it up real fast. Do I look like I got a little tan here? I don't know. Maybe it's the lighting. It's nice out. It's nice out around here in New Jersey, baby. Hope everyone's having a good time. If you guys have any questions, throw them in the chat. I only got 2 more games left here. Let me just pull up. The under-over is still set at 9 for like, when are they going to adjust these under-overs? They're going to slowly adjust these under-overs in Toronto. Like, they haven't adjusted them yet. They're going to do it soon. How many runs will the Blue Jays? 4.5 is minus 155. Jesus Christ. Score 5. I mean, like, there's got to be a better number somewhere else. 5.5 for the Jays. Like, they got to score 6 runs. They probably do it, but 6 runs when the total's set at 9, you might as well take the fucking full game over. Oh, yeah. All right, so you know what? We're going with the Blue Jays minus 1.5. Fuck it. Blue Jays minus 1.5. Blue Jays minus 1.5 as a home favorite. I'll do this less than 5 times on the year. I can guarantee you that. I'll do this less than 5 times on the year. Blue Jays minus 1.5. So get it now. Get the fucking winner now. Minus 110 via Caesars as well, I'm saying. Yup, minus 110 via Caesars. 2 official plays right there. Next game we got Velasquez versus Montgomery. Pittsburgh versus St. Louis. Vince Velasquez, I mean, this guy has been surprised. He's like, kind of reminds me of Urena. Surprised he even has a job in the majors, Surprised he's not pitching in the KBO or something. But I know I'm pretty sure he got hurt last start. They gave him x-rays on his ankle. Came back negative, so he should be ready to roll. He pitched against the White Sox last start, 2 2/3, 5 earned runs. Start before that in Cincinnati, small part, 4 2/3, 3 earned innings, 3 earned runs. So in 7 1/3 innings, he's allowed 8 earned runs, walked 5 people, struck out 4. This guy doesn't strike anybody out anymore. His ERA, his ERA in his career, the lowest his ERA has ever been has been 4.12. And that was his second year in the majors. So this guy is a journeyman. He is the definition of a fucking journeyman. Him and Natisfy, definitions of journeyman. Just get along by, be pitching on shitty teams and just keep moving forward. Looks like it's going to be 80 degrees in Pittsburgh. It's going to be hot in Pittsburgh again. Or in St. Louis, I'm sorry. This game is in St. Louis. BVP-wise, obviously, this St. Louis team has really good BVP versus him. They're batting .546 slugging against Vince Velasquez. I expect them to score early and often. Jordan Montgomery on the other end is kind of scaring me away. I forgot to make the lay of the line, but it's minus 240 on the fucking St. Louis Cardinals. Under-over is at 8.5. Like, minus 240, I want no chance. Pittsburgh has been playing quite good. Pittsburgh's 7-5 thus far. They've been getting bats. Sneaky, these young guys have been playing good for them. They got Andrew Metuchen. Obviously, Brian Reynolds has been stroking. And then they got some like nice young talent. Connor Joe. They got obviously they brought over G-Man Choi. Brian Hayes is still young. I know the shortstop got hurt. But the Mr. Bay, my favorite Bay, hit a homer the other day. They still got Sawinski, who can hit bombs. If he gets hot, that guy can hit bombs. So I know Montgomery has pitched good to start. I personally seen a lot of him as a Yankee fan. I watched this guy pitch for how many years? 5-6 years. I don't personally trust the guy. I know he has decent stuff, but you got to swing at you have to chase pitches. You have to be swinging at pitches outside the zone. Obviously, it's easier said than done. But I personally don't really trust Jordan Montgomery. He doesn't really throw that hard on his fastball, and you really have to chase pitch. So I do expect Pittsburgh to score some runs here, and I don't trust Velasquez 0%. So this is a stay away. If you want to take Pittsburgh team total over, you could probably get a short number 3.5. I'm not totally against that, but this is just a stay away for me. And the last game on the slate is Milwaukee versus San Diego. Eric Lauer versus Nick Martinez, it's looking like. San Diego minus 140 favorites, and under over is set at 8.5 here. Maybe Bryce Wilson. I'm not seeing a pitcher from Milwaukee. I know their rotation's a little messed up here now that Woodruff just went on the IL. And then this is Martinez. Obviously, Martinez pitched in the World Baseball Classic, was decent. He came over here, pitched for San Diego. Last year was decent. And now he's just not been good thus far this year. 11 2/3 innings, 8 earned runs. He's walked 7 people, 9 strikeouts. This should be another very interesting game. Milwaukee's bats have somewhat disappeared, especially on the road. I just don't know who's pitching for Milwaukee. I got Bryce Wilson in spots. Where else do I got? To be announced in my other spot, and then Eric Lauer in another one. This will be obviously wait and see. If I do make a move on this, depending on starting pitcher there. I definitely expect San Diego to score some runs. If Lauer's in, I do expect San Diego to score some runs. If Bryce Wilson's in, I'm just not sure. San Diego will probably be the coldest atmosphere or coldest ballpark out of the 8, 9 games I went through. But if I do fire on that game, I'll let Run Pure Bet subscribers know. But my official 2 plays will be full game over 8 in the Yankees Twins game and Blue Jays minus a run and a half, minus 110 via Caesars. Obviously, as I mentioned, I'm quite interested in Cincinnati first 5 or first 5 under Cincinnati. I may make a move on that. I'm going to do a little more homework after this live and bang out that game. If you guys have any questions now, raise 162-0. If you guys have any questions, it's the time to do it. I know, Chuck, you're just trolling. But, they did play. They played Washington. They played Oakland. They played Detroit. Now they're playing the Red Sox. So those 4 teams could arguably be the worst 4 teams in baseball. I know everyone says, oh, Joey, you're a Rays hater. The Rays have been fucking phenomenal. They scored the most runs in baseball. They've been great. I'm not. They look like they're the best team in baseball right now. Yes. There's no denying that. But we should get some good numbers. I have yet to fade them too. I have yet to fucking bet against them. But we should get some good numbers to fade them soon. Some nice juicy numbers. Today we took the Marlins plus 167. Cash it. Plus 167. Baseball, guess what? The worst teams in baseball win 60 games. The worst teams in baseball win 60 games. You just got to find the fucking spots. And that's what we're going to do. It's a grind, day-by-day grind, and we're here doing it. So, Gerardo Hernandez, appreciate you, my guy. If you guys have any questions, now's the time. Otherwise, I'll be back Sunday with JJ, Gary, maybe Holden. I don't know. He might have another adult Easter egg hunt. I'm sure Natisfy will be in the chat. Just positive mojo as always. But, Jago, I appreciate you hanging out. Appreciate the positive vibes from you. If you guys have any questions, now's the time. What's my favorite parlay? My favorite parlay is not to fucking parlay. Because guess what? I don't parlay. Let's take that back. The only thing I do, the only parlays I would make would be on UFC, like a long shot, $100 parlay. That's it. I'm not putting a full unit on a parlay. I'm not fucking parlaying baseball at all. Like parlay 2 heavy money dog favorites. You'll never see me do that. Okay? Long term, I beat the books. Game by game, minus 110 or better. Let's roll. Appreciate you guys. Joey works out. Peace and love.